This is the Mobile Home Park Lawyer Podcast with Ferd. If you're looking to generate wealth and passive income in the lucrative world of mobile home parks, you're in the right place. You'll discover solutions to the common legal and operational pitfalls and how to optimize parks to maximize income. Your host is in the trenches. He's a real estate attorney, financial analyst, and mobile home park investor and operator. Now, let's turn it over to Ferd.
Welcome back, Mobile Home Park Nation. Here again today with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about taking pride in your work or taking pride in your community. This seems like it should be common sense, but I was just driving home today with my kids and I saw some retail shopping centers that had just some outdated, faded doors and trash laying around, and like part of the signage was out. This is like a nice area of town and a nice shopping center. It just blew me away. I was like, take some pride in your property. Jiminy Christmas. So it made me think about what we do in our MHP operations. I was like, well, I should at least share this with everybody, because even though it seems like it's common sense, apparently it's not that common. So real quickly today, I'm just going to cover a couple things you can do to take some pride of ownership in your property, which is good for your community, right? Your residents, they deserve that. The first thing I do is when we buy a park, we update and spruce up the entryway. Unless there's a nice sign up front already, we put in new signage. Sometimes we change the names, new brand, bright new painted signs. We put up some of the for rent, for sale flags. Obviously, that's a marketing thing to bring in business also. But we plant rose bushes. I like these knockout roses. They're $20 a pop. We put them on pretty much every corner. You can do a whole park for $500. And we put white vinyl fencing, decorative fencing at the entrance, but also on a lot of the corners by the rose bushes. Those are like $150 a pop, so not too expensive. Generally, we'll spend like $1,500 on that kind of decor for a park, and then another $1,500 for signage. So it's not that much money, but it makes a big difference. Other things we do is I just try to pick up the trash. I mean, we bring in dumpsters at the beginning, roll-off dumpsters, and have a kind of a spring cleanup day. But if I'm walking the park and I see a piece of trash, I pick it up. Some people just walk over it. I don't get it. And with my manager walking the park, I pick it up, or he or she picks it up, and we both do. It's not just me. I'm the boss. You pick it up. We both do, and residents see that. And it's kind of like the old broken window theory, where if somebody throws a rock into one of the windows of a church or of a building, and nobody fixes it, well, then it almost gives other kids or delinquent people the permission to throw another rock at another window, and pretty soon you got 25 windows broken. But if you fix it, it's not like an attractive thing to do is throw rocks at windows. Same thing with graffiti. Somebody sprays graffiti, paint over it. They spray the next day, paint over it. At some point, they're going to get tired. All their beautiful artwork is gone, and they'll go to somebody else's property. I would just do it over and over. I'm not going to let people beat me on that. They're not going to trash my property. Those are just some general things, just picking stuff up. And everybody should do it. And that's a culture. I mean, if you create this kind of culture, I say, mediocrity, it starts off as an infection, but if you don't cure it, it becomes a disease. And I abhor mediocrity, and I just preach that and live and breathe that throughout my entire organization, and it seems to catch on. And if it doesn't, you can. Frank Rolfe, he's a friend. He says it got a good saying. He says sometimes it's easier to change people than to change people, and that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to get some people off the bus. Make sure you get the right people on the bus and the right seats on the bus. And adopting and adapting to my company culture is absolutely required. One other thing we do, this is a little more expensive, but we typically do to improve the general ambiance of the park, is we paint all the houses. And I'm talking like we paint the tenant-owned houses too. And we call it our painting program. It costs about $500 to paint a house, typically about $300 to $350 in labor and $150 to $200 in paint. It's like 4 gallons of paint for the body and like 2 gallons for the trim. We give people 2 color choices per house. We give them 15 different options of whatever they want to do, or let them pick out the paint themselves. But we depending on the park, we either control it to a limited number of colors, or sometimes we want to go for like a lot of flair. Like we have this one park that's almost all Hispanic folks, and they tend to like brighter pastels and neon colors than I would prefer at my house, but it actually looks pretty good. So we painted 50 houses in that park this year, and we only owned half of them. Now we own like 3. We've been selling them off. We sold off like 21 or something this year, the park-owned homes. But we painted 50 houses. It transformed. These homes are all, by the way, in 1960s and 70s, but it transforms the neighborhood. We do that in all the parks. We try to, for the painting program, we try to get the residents to contribute because they have some skin in the game. So I'll go around and say, hey, here's the deal. It's $500. You go pick out the paint and bring it to me. I'll provide the labor. Or if you pick out one of my template colors, we'll pick out the paint too. We're going to charge you $200 for the paint. And some people can't afford it. So I say, tell you what, can you afford $20 a month? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to finance it for 10 months, $200. But I want you to stay. I want you to jump in with the team. And our managers will literally go around door to door and bang on people's doors and say, "Do you notice the crappy looking trailer across the street ain't so crap anymore because they painted it? Yours is now the crappy trailer across the street. Do you want to be the turd in the punch bowl, or do you want to help make this a better community?" And we just pound on people until every single one of them paints it. Every once in a while, you get somebody they won't, or they truly can't afford it. A little old lady or something like that. Sometimes we'll just eat the cost. We'll do it ourselves, and we always do our homes first, our park-owned homes first. When we buy a park, and then because it's an example, right? Look, we've cleaned our stuff up. Now you guys are the worst looking homes. Wouldn't you like to help make this a better community for all of us? So the painting program is just huge. Cutting trees is another one. Cutting down dead trees, lifting the canopy, if you will, of trees that hang over the street. That really helps things look good. Fixing broken skirting, cutting down broken fencing or other signage, or just it's pretty obvious. Walk around, drive around, and make a punch list of all the things that need to be done to finish the general ambiance of your park. Obviously, bigger expenses like road repairs and stuff. You got to really budget those capex things. That's not a $500 deal. So you can spend anywhere from $3,000-$4,000 to $50,000 doing this. But take some pride in your property and take some pride in the company culture. We do it on everything. I mean, I was showing some people rent manager the other day and training them on how we're doing our profit and loss monthly and our investor narratives and reports to our investors. And I repeated something that my old boss told me. He said, speed is important, but accuracy is imperative when it comes to financial stuff. And he told me, I used to work on these real estate development projects and tax incentive projects that were in the literally the hundreds of millions of dollars. So they're talking big numbers. And he would tell me, a penny off is not close. A penny off is wrong. And that's part of the culture that we do, to take pride in your work, take pride in your community, take pride in your books, take pride in your vehicle. I got a monthly pass. I wash my truck literally every time before or after I go to mobile home park. It's an auto car. I check emails while I'm in the machine, for 6 minutes, whatever it takes, and I wash my truck like 5 times a week. I shine my shoes before meetings. I shave. Even I work from home. I shave every morning. I comb my hair. You dress for the job you want, not for the job you got. It's all the same sort of stuff. Improve your park. Improve your person. Improve your character. All these things. So anyway, that's enough for today. But just wanted to say, do better for your residents, and let's do better as an industry. Till next time, God bless.
You've been listening to the Mobile Home Park Lawyer Podcast with Ferd Neiman. Ready to learn more? Go to www.themobilehomelawyer.com for free resources and materials to help you succeed. If you love the podcast, go to Apple Podcasts, give us your review, and subscribe today. Thank you for listening. Neither the Supreme Court of Missouri nor the Missouri Bar reviews nor approves certifying organizations or specialist designations. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.